Hello, and welcome to the 11th episode of the Between Torp and Turret Podcast. So today will be a rather special episode. Namely, we will almost exclusively talk about CVs. And to have anyone to be who is certified to talk about this, because I certainly am not, I invited 3 Unicum CV players on this show, who are Jesper,
Hi.
Saekar,
Hi.
and Konus.
Greetings.
Yes. So, starting right off, what do you think is the biggest problem with CVs right now, in your opinion?
CV Knoops.
Honestly, I don't think there's that much of a problem for the actual for the CV player. They can adjust to the situation how it is right now. But it's just like the surface players who never touch CV that just think CVs are completely broken and completely screw over because I think the problem lies in the aspect that there's only one CV each team, mostly. Besides tier 6, tier 7, and tier 5 some shit. Because wargaming is retarded, but let's not talk about this now. But yeah, and the impact a single player has in a unique ship class it is in a battle, it's just if the skill difference is too big, people just seem to notice it really fast. It's probably the same if you have a Unicum DD player and I don't know, 800 VTR on 40% win rate DD player, you will notice the difference as well. But it's only the CVs everyone is crying about, and it's not quite fair, but understandable, I guess. But that's I think that is the problem most, or that's the reason why people see CV have a problem, or the CV matchup and the whole CV stuff is a problem right now.
The thing is, most players have accepted, when you're showing broadside to a battleship or an AP cruiser and get instantly deleted, that's fine with everybody because they've gotten used to it. But when a CV drops you and it gets a really good drop off, stacks dots on you and kills you, basically in one flyover, then everybody is crying because they're not that adjusted to it. But same way as you can avoid broadsides, there are also ways to avoid that.
True.
But most players don't realize it, that there are these AA bubbles basically that you can, or the giant umbrella that you can get under, also known as Minotaur and Des Moines, and soon to be the Worcester, which will be no different. And as soon as you're near those ships, most of the DDs, 95% of the people who know what they're doing, will not touch you, and they will not even try to touch you. But yeah, since most people don't realize that, they get deleted time and time again, and then they go to the forums or on Reddit and start to cry how horrible it is and how unbalanced it is. And yeah.
Yeah, also I just came to another I don't know conclusion, because basically it is basically rare in a match that you can delete, let's say you see a full life Izumo, basically you're playing midway and there's this 1 in 30-40 battles chance you can actually delete him from 100 to 0, hitting all torps, he damage cons, you put fires on, easy, he's dead.
Yeah, sometimes hitting all the torps not enough.
Yeah, but people only see that they don't see that it's 1 in 30 battles and 1 in, I don't know, 150 strikes or some bullshit. No, they see it this single moment, and they compare it to I don't know, a Montana death striking every cruiser he aims at it. It's they don't realize the connection, or I don't know.
Yeah, but
how hard it is actually for a CV to get something like this done, or how rare it is.
It is a combination of impact and confirmation bias that makes people think that the rare occurrence happens a lot more, which is absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
Because getting one tapped leaves a lasting impression, but it never happens often. And yes, just as many people say that CVs can delete all ships left and right, there's a lot of people also saying battleships deleting ships left and right, but it doesn't really happen that often.
And I have like another good comparison that they made. Like I had this discussion a couple of times now with like people who were basically up in arms against CVs, and then most of them were like battleships or cruiser players, and then I just asked them, hey guys, how would you feel if your shells would actually be limited? Because that's the situation that a CV player faces. Like my planes are limited. I have to think about where I go, what I strike, how I approach the strike so that I don't lose all of my planes.
Yeah.
And then if I'm lucky, I can return the rest of the planes and go for another round. The battleship or like the cruiser, they can just shoot forever. Like nobody is stopping them. They don't have like a limited amount of ammo. I have to actually put like a bit of brain into my play.
Wow.
Yeah, make battleships have, I don't know, 40 shots or some shit.
Yeah,
or like 40 salvos, and then like
it would be horrible for the game, but for balancing purposes, that would be amazing.
that would be a lot of fucking fun. Also, like limited AA ammunition, that would be amazing then.
Please.
Like that's a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah. Like playing CV is just it's like a complete different aspect to the game and how you actually play the game. And it's just like a lot of people who never touch CV, they can't see this, and they just see like, oh, I'm getting strike, oh, I'm dead.
Most people will never see it because Wargaming set the entrance bar so high that is for most people unreachable to ever try out CV, because when they try the class, you get these T4 CVs, and I know that we want to like kind of talk about that later today, I think, in the podcast.
We can try talk about that right now if you want.
Okay, because like with those, you will not have the success that they see when they get into battle with their Tier 7 or 8 ships. Yeah. And the CV can actually like manual drop you, because suddenly you have these funny aiming mechanism that you can click and then you cannot adjust it any further.
And besides turning around and dropping from, I don't know, 2 miles away.
Yeah, that is, in my opinion, the worst way to introduce CVs that they have chosen. Like, it's so off-putting. You think, hey, like you see these CVs in like, even if you just watch like a tournament or whatever, and you see how these people are really playing well and like doing these nice cross drops and everything. And then you start to play, and hey, I can't use like 80% of the mechanics that are introduced like later. Especially, they are not introduced; they are just given to you eventually.
Yeah,
because
like,
there is no tutorial for them.
And even then, you have to get like to what, Tier 4 and Tier 5. So like, and then you get into Tier 6 CV, where you can actually start learning playing CV, and you face Tier 8 AA and stuff, and it's just like. Wargaming, like they didn't think this through.
No, they didn't. I'm honestly convinced that there is no dedicated CV player on the developer team. Like not a single guy of them is actually probably like Unicum CV or Super Unicum and is like playing the majority of his games in a CV. I'm convinced by that. Like otherwise,
or he can't talk and like voice his opinion.
Yeah, or that, because like otherwise, so many of these retarded changes that they made over the last like 2 years would not have gone live.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did change the Tier 4 and 5, which used to be able to out attack or manual attack, whatever you want to call it, and then they said, okay, so yeah. We see that people are still clubbing in Tier 4 and 5 with these CVs, so we're just gonna take that away. Sounds like a nice idea, right? Just no skill clubbing anymore of high tier CV players. But your opinion just now shows me that there is a lot of problems, right? Because these people, like, you can't learn the CV gameplay anymore.
No.
Like you learn it, right? From
Unless
Tier 6 on.
Speed to Tier 6 and go into co-op battles or trainings room, then you can actually try and learn before you actually face a real player in like a random battle.
But yeah, and the problem is with Tier 6. In Tier 6 you can face Tier 8s, right? And Tier 8 has extremely scary AA. Tier 6 has scary AA. Tier 7 has extremely scary AA with like Atlanta, Flint and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
true.
When you finally get to play the CV or you actually start learning CV playing, you're already in a huge danger.
Yeah.
Like,
And you have
the
such
stakes are
low
extremely high
reserves.
already, right?
That's like you have such low reserves for a new player basically into like going high AA ships. It's just like I have the feeling a new player needs, I don't know, Shokaku or Taiho levels of reserves when he actually starts learning the game against tier 8 AA ships in a tier 6 CB. It's just like for learning the game, you just like you don't have fun. Like you have what, 2 strikes and then you're done. So like a CV spends actively maybe 5 to 7 minutes in the game, then is out of planes. If he starts new the game and has no idea about the gameplay at all, never saw any videos or tutorials about it before. So it's just like, I don't know. I have the idea or the feeling that maybe a +-1 matchmaking would help it a lot. Like not only the CV players to like actually learn and don't face that much of a scary AA already, but also like for the surface ships, because like let's say a Bismarck will never get hit by a Midway or a Haku ever again and then cry on the forums or whatever because he got like he's 2 tiers lower. And that's just like it doesn't seem fair, to be honest. So +-1 matchmaking might actually be a solution for a lot of problems CV matchmaking and all that CV crying and shit has. So it's like, yeah, this might be a solution. Like
That's like the bare minimum of what they should do, like change the matchmaking for CVs. Tier 8 and upwards, it's fine. Like, I don't really care. In the Shokaku, sure, it sucks if you go up against tier 10 against the Des Moines or something. But you can, by then, you actually know how to play, know what to do. You can counter most of it. Or, sure, you get shut down in some games. But overall, it's still like a good experience, in my opinion.
But I'm also looking from a surface ship like perspective, basically. If you're sitting, let's say, playing Bismarck, or let's say even Amari, because like a little bit worse if you're not like actually spec for it, and you face a Haku or a Midway, you don't have fun in your BB at all. You're going to be
True.
priority target at all for like
But
easy
in
damage
my
points.
opinion, that falls on the category what I mentioned earlier. Stick with your cruisers. If you sail alone, it's your own fault.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Fair
yeah,
point.
like matchmaking would be the first step that what they should change. And then this game is out how many years now? 3, 4?
I think
Roundabout?
more.
It depends
I mean-
on what you count as out. If you count
Yeah,
beta, then
let's-
it's 3. If you don't, it's about over 2.
Okay, so let's go with like 2 years. It's still long enough.
Yes.
We still don't have a tutorial.
For
There is
CVs,
no
no.
in-game tutorial for CVs. That's so amazing to me.
And
If
to
you
be honest,
play any
if
other
Walk-
multiplayer game, you get at least videos that explain to you what to do. And in most cases, you actually get to play the thing. Like if you play a different class in like in any other multiplayer game, basically, there is something like some kind of resource in the game that explains the mechanics to you. Here, you
not
have to
in
go
depth,
outside of the game
yeah.
and be lucky enough to know a YouTuber who does tutorials for you, like Ferozalev or Strangers or Rater or like any other good CV, basically. Look at them and like pick up their skill, basically. The game company doesn't give you any help at all. And that's amazing to me.
I mean, I guess Wargaming is starting a kind of series right now with their like how armor works and stuff, and maybe they come to CVs, hopefully. But then again, I don't think that it's like going to be it's gonna be a really basic tutorial, to be honest. So like I guess that they show all drops, but like still sneaky mechanics of how you actually get good in CV and dominate the skies and surface ships. It's just like they're probably not given, so I guess you learn them over time. But that's still fair, but I guess still that Wargaming might even when they do a tutorial, they don't even like will have pull off a proper one, which like is actually nice and good to watch from like a new player, basically.
I mean, the thing is, if you play the mobile game, World of Warships Blitz, or on your smartphone, you actually get a tutorial for at least the surface ships.
Yeah, but you
So-
got that always. You have always gotten a surface ship tutorial.
No, I did not get one when I started playing.
But when did you start playing? How many years ago, huh?
2?
Because when
something?
I started playing a bit under 2 years ago, I got a tutorial.
Okay, so they have at least,
So,
but
Yeah,
you
you
can't
start
reassess
in
that actually,
the
right?
tier 1 ship, and then you have to cap or something like that.
Okay.
yeah, and there's like a ship that you have to shoot.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they are capable of making a tutorial, so it should not be difficult to like give you, I don't know, Langley or whatever, and just let you do like one scenario mission basically where you like bomb someone, drop torpedoes, and like win a fighter battle or something.
You say that that exact thing was brought up to, I think it was Sub Octavian at one of the Q&A sessions a bit of a time ago, like a couple months. But they asked him, they asked him exactly that. Why is there not a tutorial for CVs? What is the problem? Why is there not a tutorial at all for game classes, right?
Yeah.
And he answered, okay, so they tried that. They tried making one. And it turns out that the tutorial they had, the people didn't really learn anything from it. And
How?
they didn't... I don't know,
Like,
but that is what he said.
How do you not learn anything there?
That's what he said, and so what he said that the team got from that was that they're gonna work on their CV work and put their resources in that, and not put their resources in tutorials, and actually try and make the game better by game design, and not by making tutorials, because obviously they can't fucking do it.
But we
Okay.
all know that wargaming and game design and like
I don't know
like
how
especially
should we...
reworks of whole classes are like wargaming's like that's not their type, to be honest.
Yeah, I
It's
I
also
don't know how
different
shitty their
types of
scenario
things.
editor is, but in my opinion, if it is anything like, I don't know, let's take for example the easiest scenario editor that I know of, which is the Warcraft 3 scenario editor, right? I could build you a tutorial mission with that over the course of a day. So like giving like a fishy excuse of like we don't have the resources, or we are putting the resources into like the rework when it's basically would take one guy at least like not more than, let's say, a week, right? That is like the most bullshit answer ever. It's basically like, yeah, we don't fucking care, live with it, we don't give a shit about the CV population because you're so few anyway.
Yeah.
That is what I get from that basically.
All right. Does anyone have any closing thoughts on tier 3 and 4 alt attacks?
4 and 5.
Yeah, it made the average player base more lethal in tier 4 and 5 because they were so bad at mana dropping before. And now that you're forced to use the auto drops, it's actually more dangerous to face tier 4 and 5 carriers.
That
on
is
average.
an interesting... That's okay. I hadn't thought about that yet, but yeah, I have been killed way too many times by auto drops in tier 4 and 5. That is true. And tier 6, for some reason, can't do it. They always drop like from the front, right? That is true. That is true. Now that I think about it.
So I guess there are still people seal clubbing at tier 4 and 5, but now with auto drops.
Nah, not even necessarily. It's just
like didn't they also improve the tier 4 and 5 auto drops, like the bomb dispersion and like the torp grouping and stuff?
that
Was
might
that
be.
like when the
Yeah,
rework
they
basically
improved
hit,
the
they
auto drops
improved
as
the
well.
auto drops, right? Yeah, so I guess like that's might be the reason for it.
By about 20% average.
So I guess
okay.
yeah.
All right, next topic, which is kind of related, and that is 2 CV games, double CV games, whatever. And of course, the worst problem is when you have a tier 5 and a tier 6 carrier in the same match, right? Because one can strive, one cannot. So
Yeah.
that is
That's
kind of weird to me. As I have to repeat myself. I have never played CV. I have played some tier games in Hosho back when it still had alt attacks. Sorry, and I haven't touched it since. So, yeah.
It's one of the most like one of the biggest disadvantages that you kind of throw a player into. It would be like playing like, I don't know, Counter-Strike, and you only get a knife and the other guy gets like an M4 or an AK. Like that would be the comparison that I would make. It's utterly ridiculous if you can't strafe, because it's not only the alt attacks, like the drops, it's also the fighter battle, and that's like so significant to win the air battle. You're already at a disadvantage because your fighters are weaker than his, and then on top of that he can strafe you and you can't strafe back. So it's utterly ridiculous. It should not be a thing.
Yeah.
But
overall, I think that 2 CV games are fine. Like, to be honest, I would like to see even, I don't know, double Shokaku games or some shit, or like, yeah, something like that, because like simply the skill cap doesn't show that much anymore, right?
Yeah, and that
As
was
I said in the
extremely fun
beginning,
in
that's
the
like
beta.
that is like 1 versus 1. It's just like the one who's even a slightly bit better will dominate the other one. But like if there's 2v2, you can still like, but like there is the skill gap basically isn't that huge, or it's not visible that much. But
I still remember when I played games where like you could match up as a Shokaku together with a Taiho against like another Taiho into Lexing, for example, or something like that. Those were amazing games. It was amazingly fun for
like
most people. But that
then
doesn't
again,
exist anymore.
I don't think that that should be like a tier 5 and a tier 6 CV basically, or like even a tier 6 and a tier 7 facing off like in a double carrier battle. That's just like, it seems unfair to the low tier carrier player at all.
Yeah.
So like if they make double carrier games, which like I honestly I want them, like as a CV player, I'd like to see that. But then on the same tier, like if there's ever the rare occasion that like actually 4 tier 8 CVs are in the queue, then throw them into one battle. Like just go ahead. That's gonna be just like a lot of fun, to be honest, in my opinion. But like I guess the matchmaking won't allow it that often. Just like population at tier 8 CVs or like higher tiers is kind of rare or like kind of low. So
yeah, I want to just go back one step and go back to tier 5 and 6 carriers in the same match, okay? We can talk about 2 carrier games in general after that, alright? So tier 5 and 6 carriers battle has been complained about a lot, understandably to me, because it's just unfair, right? Like the fighter battle is just completely dominated by one side and you can't do shit about it. But the reasoning Wargaming gives why that is balanced, the enemy team has a tier 6 carrier as well, right? Now our team, you have a tier 6 carrier on your team as well, so it's balanced, right?
Yeah, but I'm just going to come back to the skill gap that shows, because like even if the tier 5 CV is a really good player, the tier 6 CV with the ability to strafe and auto drop and alt drop is like, he's just going to have a better, like a way more impact on the game itself. It's just like given by the fact that he is allowed to alt attack if it's being strafe or drops. It's just like, even if like, so let's say you have the worst tier 6 carrier, you're still going to lose. Like no matter what, even if your tier 5 carrier is a super unicum.
Yeah, of course. And that's exactly the problem.
That's not balanced. Like
yeah, and that's why the excuse of, oh, you have a tier 6 carrier as well though, is just bullshit.
Yeah.
Then on to 2 carrier games in general. Konus talked about that as well. I don't know when they changed that you can't have tier double carrier games from tier 8 up, but at some point they did, and I don't even know why. I guess they thought it was too oppressive to surface ships.
No. Because high tier carriers has a lot of squads, and a lot of squads means a lot of server usage.
Yes.
Haha.
Yeah.
No, that's a joke.
Oh, okay.
No, but like it's kind of like, I guess let's say 2 Hakus face off basically. Like, oh no, let's say 4 Hakus. It's like 2 on each side, right? There's going to be a huge fucking stuff happening on the minimap, and also in like your screen itself, which is like animated and stuff, because like planes, right?
Yeah.
Weaker PCs might get a problem with it. Like that's just if the PC can't offer the resources needed by the game basically to animate and process all the stuff happening. Then it's just like
But
getting
again,
into the Excel stuff. But
that's the problem of Russian coding. That's not
Yeah,
that's
true.
not able to properly compress textures. Like, come on, man. If if other games can do like a bazillion explosions on screen at once on a medium PC and look gorgeous at the same time, why can't Warships do that with what is it? With planes? Because that's not.
the engine is freaking 10 years old, and
Yes.
they are trying to upgrade it constantly, but they never made a switch. And I don't think a switch is going to happen ever.
Yeah, they're saying they don't want to switch.
So it's going to stay the same. Like, there are like technical limitations to it. I don't think that's the only reason. By the way, like, I think they are very well aware of the fact that at that time, when they allowed basically two CVs on tier 8 and higher to face up against each other, the pure strike power that is coming your way, it's very hard for most ships, even if they are dedicated AA ships like a Des Moines, to survive that. Like,
Yeah,
you
true.
can't
Like,
you
if
can't
both
kill.
gang up on you, then you are.
Like, when there are 30 planes coming for you, and even if you are like pressing the T virus, it's very unlikely that you're going to survive that.
But then again, we can say there's going to be 4 fighter groups on the enemy team trying to stop you, right?
There
Because
should
that's
be.
that's wargaming logic, right? So
Yeah.
it should be balanced, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it honestly, from my complete 100% Surface player perspective, I think it would actually be fun.
99%, you mean?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, we will see way more AA specs. So
Yes.
being a single carrier will be even more.
I mean, that
not
depends
much
on
fun.
how often double carrier games are. But what I mean
is
is,
in high tiers they're going to be rare
yeah,
or rarer than in like tier 8. Like tier 8 probably will be the heaviest impact, because like there's a lot of tier 8 carriers, especially with the premium ones. So
yeah.
like tier 8, tier 7, this is gonna be a lot of double carrier games then.
Yeah, as I said, I would actually like that for like at some point. Sometimes, I mean, carrier games are rare as they are, so double carrier games would be even rarer. So I think it would actually be kind of fun to have this bit of change once in a while, because then like that is the point when there's a tier 8 game with tier 8 carriers. That's the point when the surface ships should really be scared. And then that's actually like that is the moment when I feel like we are the closest to realism, when carriers are actually like dictating a battle, and the surface ships have to stay close together and like fight in groups against other groups of surface ships, right, to protect themselves. Yeah, but that would be kind of fun, honestly.
Are you going to pull the realism argument now?
Like 2%
No, but
chance
but
that
that
will happen in randoms.
yeah, but honestly, I would think that would be kind of fun to just force people to play
as a team,
differently.
basically, and
Yeah.
not everyone solo.
Exactly.
Like, call it a team game, but everyone plays his own shit game, basically.
This is
so,
not
yeah.
a team game. I'm sorry to say so, but this is everything but a team game.
Yeah. Like, it's right now, yeah.
Even a good CV will have a hard time to attack a team that actually plays like a team.
Mm.
But that doesn't happen in randoms, and that's why.
Yeah, like a lot of people forget that. That's simple fact.
Yeah. So even if you have this absolute mong of a window licker CV, you can still win if you play as a team.
True.
Yeah, but that
The only
would
thing
require...
that you lack that the other team doesn't lack is spotting. The other team gets spotting for free, but you don't. So it's kind of an uphill battle. That is the most lethal thing about having a bad CV on a team. It's not the enemy's CV's strike power. It is the fact that you don't get spotting while the enemy teams get.
It's also that our CV doesn't deny the enemy spotting or strikes or whatever. So
yeah.
But I mean, who plays AS anyway, right? AS is for noobs.
You don't need
it doesn't exist in most.
I know.
just need to level the field between your team's information and the enemy team's information.
Yeah.
If you can't deny the enemy carriers information, just provide your team with
Yeah.
one.
Just like,
And that is what a lot of people don't get in high tiers. Okay, so yes, they learn. They learn how to deal with high anti, right? They learn, okay, I'm not going to strike here, I'm not going to strike there. And then they just hide the planes behind the fleet. And then you lose the spotting. But they don't understand that because they don't have a tutorial that says spotting is important. They just learned, okay, I'll deal with this. And the best way to deal with this is to not lose planes. And that is by hiding them.
yeah, like a lot of carriers only get, okay, my fighters can kill planes and my strike planes do damage, so that's like the only thing I need to do, right? And that's like I don't know how many times I see fighters cycling behind the battleships, like even like basically in the back line, and it's just, please, dude, use your brain at least once.
Okay, but to get this topic to a close, 2 carrier games in general, is that a good idea? Or like, should we get rid of 2 carrier games completely? Should we reinstate them to up to tier 8, tier 9, tier 10?
Either, like, it's both possible. Either completely stop it being possible, or allow it through all tiers under certain restrictions, like no ultra bullshit, like no tier 5 and tier 6 carriers. This is just like, this is bullshit. But like tier 4 and tier 5 is okay.
No,
still
it's
not,
not.
still not fair and shit, but it's.
I mean, tier 5 carriers have like 30% more HP and 50% more damage than tier 4.
Exactly.
You basically don't lose any.
Yeah. But
Like,
yeah,
if you
again,
make
and let's say
double-
for tier 4, 5, and 6, there are no double CV games.
But for
Starting
tier
at
10 there
tier
are.
7,
Double
I guess.
Double midway versus double midway. It's gonna be so great.
I mean, it's gonna be what, 150 plane kills. I'm excited for this. I need to bump up my record anyway.
That's
Yeah,
actually
you should be able to farm multiple King of the Skies in a game.
yeah. That 4 midways in one game. That is exactly the type of game the Worcester needs to be actually like. That is the only game mode where the Worcester actually needs its ridiculous AA rating. Any other game mode, the Worcester doesn't need that AA. It's just too much.
Yeah,
if you have 2 carriers, sure, but one
Worcester's
carrier is
just fucking obnoxious.
It's too much. You don't need that much.
And since everyone is going to play them, I don't know, for the next 3 months massively, I'm not going to touch my CVs at all. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm going to take a break from the game actually during that.
I'm not going to.
You can't even spot
I don't know
them.
my sanity in that, against that shit. So
They have longer anti-air range than the spotting.
Yeah, and
I mean,
that's
it's the same as how's it called, Minotaur, but
Never
I mean,
mind,
that's
Thor
a trend
doesn't have
that we've
defensive
seen in
fire.
the game for a while now, that they're introducing more and more ships with stronger AA. If you look back 2 years ago, what did we have back then? Des Moines? That was it? Like, there was no other ship with strong AA.
maybe
I know-
AA spec'd Hindenburg, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, but like, who did that?
Expect
Some
Moskva?
Moskva tested or somebody. But nowadays, like, most ships that come out have like a ridiculous amount of AA on top. Like,
Yeah.
they don't release any more ships except like some premium ships or so that don't have ridiculous amount of AA.
Even then, they often have good A. I mean, Key. The only good thing about Key over Amagi is that it has so much A. There is
True.
literally nothing else, because I refuse to acknowledge these torpedoes as better than having gun accuracy. I'm sorry. Like, the Key is a shit ship, but it has good A. I'll give it that.
I mean, I think that's just due to the fact that everyone is crying against how they can't do anything against CVs. Like they also bumped up the FAA multiplier for DDs, and they're just
Ah.
basically giving serverships so much against CVs, but they're like still continuously trying, and it's at this point not that much. Like it's not fair anymore.
Also, people have been complaining about in operations how it's operations are so hard when it first came out. So they made it easier to win the operations, but instead they just AA spec all of the ships to compensate for that.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
That's what I mean. Like, I can't believe that there's a single guy on the developer team who's allowed to voice his opinion and play CV.
Yeah.
He's just probably just getting shouted down every time he tries to say something.
I think he actually gets beaten every day. Like that's how I imagine it.
Yeah.
The bad mood pinata, basically.
All right, moving on to the next topic, which is what can be done to make new players learn CV gameplay better? We already had the idea of first reinstating manual attacks at 4 and 5, and secondly, at actual tutorial, right?
Yeah, a good one. Like call good CV players like I don't know Farah, all them could like they already have the connections to them. Like Wargaming knows those guys. They talk with them, right? Just like ask them if they have like even Farah did a whole complete series on CV
Yeah.
tutorial. Just
I
ask him
hear that.
if he
It's
can give
amazing.
like a shortcut of it, put it into like a 10-minute video, or like give some ideas for I don't know, a mission they can do like at low tiers to like learn and know about some stuff. They don't need to know the deep in-depth stuff like I don't know, counter strafing and all that stuff, or
They
like
just need to be taught enough to level the field against good CV players.
but like at least give them something to grab on, to like get to know the class a little bit and not be like thrown into cold water like without nothing. It's just
Just today, I got recommended Aaron's Basic Carrier Guide, which is by now 1.5 years old, and that was one of the first videos that was actually the first video that I saw from a CV perspective, back when I started playing, as I said, about 2 years ago. And that was really interesting to me because I had absolutely no idea how CV play worked and what that actually is. Yeah, and I think it's still probably a good video, but it's just 1.5 years old, and it's also over 20 minutes. So
yeah,
here's,
like
there
here's
are
a very
a
basic
couple.
one, basic carrier guide that is mostly like maybe a bit outdated because you did it in 2015, so that was when the game was still in open beta or like patch 0.4.0. But that was the very first game that I ever watched of a CV, and that is how I learned the game. Like without this video, I can honestly say I would never have picked up CV. And most of what the most concepts that he explains in that, they still hold true today. Like you could take this video, and most of the basic game mechanics would still hold up.
Yeah, but then again, the biggest thing you have to learn is obviously the mechanical stuff, and like the mechanical stuff is you get that, like that's just training, obviously.
But then again, I like that. Like I
Yeah, of
like
course.
having an actual class in the game who rewards skill and time you invest in it. Like if they basically give you all options and like your like Unicum levels basically in the first game and you never saw the class anything about it, it's just like bullshit basically. But and a lot of people are crying about it, like the CVs is so good, and it's just like I can't do anything. And it's just like he invested time. He didn't get this from nothing. He invested time into learning how to play it, how to drop properly, how to have a proper fight with the fighters, and it's just like he invested time in it, and they're crying that he's getting a reward out of it, and it's just like it's not fair, and it's complete bullshit and a complete clown fiesta at this point. Like I don't know. People, it's just like it's ridiculous at this. I can't, like, I have no words for this anymore. It's just tilting me, basically.
Yeah. But I think the bigger part is actually to learn ships. To learn ships by heart, which ships have good AA, what is the ranges of those AA values, what can I drop properly, what can I not drop, how fast do these ships turn,
The
all
thing
of
is
that.
there with like how long is the AA? As a CV, you don't have any indicator how long this is. And sure, you see the distance to the ship.
Yeah.
The problem is you only see it from your own ship.
Yeah.
Like you
That
don't see it
is-
from the plane. So that's entirely useless, this information, if I know that this ship is like 27 kilometers from me, because I don't care about that. I want to know if I am within 7.2 kilometers or not with my planes.
Yeah. But again, I mean, this learning of these values by heart is true for every single class in the game. So that's definitely nothing that's unique to CVs in any way. Every class has to learn these concealment. What is the fucking concealment of this DD? What is it of this battleship, and so on and so forth? How far can this guy shoot? All those things. And I
But
think
then again, it doesn't have that much of an impact on a surface ship player, basically. Like,
what?
if you don't know that the DD is getting, like, let's say you play Benson, or one guy plays a Kagero, both full concealment specs, so like 5.4 and 5.8 and 5.4. If you don't know that he's getting spotted later, like, you're probably not going to turn around. It's just like you're going to head straight in. You are going to spot it. So it's like the thing basically is the V player loses actually ammunition, like actually something he deals damage with, or like provides spotting and wins or tries to beat the other CV. It's like stealing a gun, basically. If you don't know those values on like surface ship, it's like you lose a gun permanently. It's like the impact on a CV player for not knowing the facts of like AA ranges, AA DPS, ETs, like etc. It's just way huger than on a surface ship, and that's like a CV playing a CV properly. Like takes way more skill than a surface ship. That's just a fact.
Yeah, but I don't think it's because you need to know more values.
No, but you need to
The
respect
values are
them more.
useless, like I said.
Yeah.
No, you need to respect them more.
Yeah, of
than
course.
a surface.
But I think that's confirmation bias. As a Z52, I have to respect the Des Moines a lot, and if I don't know what the Des Moines does, which is annihilate everything that moves as a DD with everything with radar that is going to 9.9 kilometers and guns that shoot about every 5 seconds and do a hell of a lot of damage, then I'm just not gonna survive. So I think that's just such a normal thing for us anymore at this point that, yeah. You have to, of course, learn different values for different stats are important to you as a CV, but still.
Like I said, they are utterly unimportant as a CV because they are useless for you.
Yeah, no, what I mean is just,
Like-
does this ship have good AA? Yes, no, maybe. So that's the only important stuff.
There should
Yeah,
be a
that's,
list
like,
in the
the
beginning
only
of the
thing.
battle. Like they have to tick if they have a good AA or not. Like basically, if you're asking someone for a date, will you go with me? Yes, no, maybe. And it's just like, do you have good AA? Yes, no, maybe.
I mean, you can kind of see that though, can you? Hovering over them.
You should be able to see that still, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that should still
Yeah.
be there.
It's just like sometimes when I play my key and I just feels masochistic, sometimes I take out my key because it looks so pretty. And sometimes I get into games with GVs, and most of them don't strike me because they know I have good AA. But sometimes I find CR6 CVs which just go for me, right? And I shoot down all their planes to the last. And then they come again. And then I'm thinking, why? Do it. I annihilated your whole first wave, fighters and all. Why are you coming again? Why do you do this?
That's just like people absolutely being absent from learning, or like
Yeah, of course,
adjusting
resistant to
situation.
learning, but
Yes.
still, yeah, still you could.
Like, you
I mean,
can't
you
have
could
those
make a.
players at all. like even if he plays a DD or something else, like you can't have those players. It's just like we should base a conversation or like a discussion about balancing a ship around the players who have no idea or like no interest in actually learning it.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
like
exactly.
if you're just going to play for fun and like throw all your shit away on all your HP or your planes, it's just like you're not balancing a ship class around those players. Like that's just going in the wrong direction, to be honest.
Yeah, while I was at the gym this morning, I listened to a bit of the Q&A session of yesterday, I believe. Yes, 2 days ago for the listeners. It was 2.5 hours long. I did not listen to all of it because fuck that. But I listened to some of it, and basically the thing they also said is that the problem is that some people just don't want to learn, and they can't make them. So, and they don't really have found any way to get around that.
Then they should just ignore these people, in my opinion.
Ignore them.
Like, honestly.
I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what game you play. There's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Like let them play for fun, but like don't give them. Well, give them the right to complain, but like don't listen to it in depth. Like sure, like there's like the people who are not willing to learn or like actually play the game. It's just like, why should I care about us? Yeah, sure, they might throw checkers at you, but that's like just a different aspect, I guess, of like the gaming industry. It's like they always have to value: do I want to play do I want to make my game competitive, or do I want to make it casual? It's just.
If I can sidetrack you 1 second, these people there are some special people in warships. I just want to illustrate this point by some of the questions that came. So there was a question of, when are you gonna buff the gearing? So to which that was
That's an
kind of
interesting question.
when are you gonna buff the gearing? Because it's such a bad ship, right?
Yeah,
Everyone knows the gearing is an extremely bad ship. So there was a question: when will you buff the gearing? It was not if are you gonna buff the gearing. It was when. So, yeah.
It's just like.
Okay, so but I mean they answered kind of fine, and they said, okay, so we are kind of buffing it. We are giving it Fletcher's torpedo options, right? So that's gonna be fun. Next couple questions later, are you gonna buff Montana's guns because they're the worst guns at tier 10? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
What?
What
Wait,
is
what?
it? What? Are
Wait,
you
there's
playing a
Turfers,
different
hello,
game than I am?
Montana, that's bad.
I
They
think
must
he
be playing a
meant.
different game than these guys, like, honestly.
Yeah, I think he meant the Montana has the smallest caliber guns at tier 10 of all BBs, which isn't completely true because Kurfürst has 4R6s as well, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But
Yes.
it is
Sorry, my mind is just blown
kinda
right
true.
now. Like, sorry, I stopped thinking for a second. This is like,
Yeah.
I need to
Stupid
process
catches.
the information about buffing Montana guns. This just didn't get through.
Yeah.
They need to give it US bounce angles.
I need to sleep over this.
I mean, 90% of all clan wars teams ran Montana exclusively.
With a good reason.
So I think there is something about the Montana that makes it pretty good. So
Nah, you must be mistaken there.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. I'm extremely wrong about that. God fucking damn it. That's the problem when you don't turn off everything before you start a podcast. Holy shit. Sorry. Okay. On to the next topic. Oh, actually, no. What I heard a bit about the CV thingies as well, because Farah asked some questions about CVs, of course, because what else would he ask, right? And which boiled down to what are you gonna do in the CV rework? Are you just gonna make the game more responsive, right? or are you just gonna rework it, just throw out the whole stuff and just make something completely new? And they said, okay, so while we can't really comment on, we won't really comment on that, it is definitely, we're gonna make it more akin to all other classes in the game and completely throw out the RTS element.
Good reason.
Did they really?
Like
they said literally, we are gonna go do away with the RTS element. Yes.
Holy fuck, are these
Like,
people retarded?
I don't play CV because I want to kind of want to delete these because it's just like a lot of fun. But I play them for the different aspect, the different kind of gameplay you offer. Like, it's so much joy to actually like not only play like, I don't know, the arcade style shooter. Like, I want to call it like that, like right now.
That is
So, like,
actually an
when actually
RNG fuck fiesta.
Yeah, that's just like getting a different kind of gameplay, which to like, I don't know, stress down a bit or like even stress more up with the current UI, but but it's just like you get offered something different in the same game, which is like, it makes it more fun. So why get rid of it? It's just like,
Because most people can't into it, that's why. Like, because most people are actually too retarded to play it.
yeah, well then
And people can feel attacked by that, but it's just the cold hard truth. Like, most people are too retarded to play CV. And if they get like beaten again and again and again, it's not fun for them. But it would be the same if you play StarCraft 2 as like a Bronze League player and play like Platinum or Diamond. You're getting wrecked. The problem here is Warships doesn't have a good matchmaker because it isn't like MMR based. You can face as a Bronze League player, basically, or the equivalent of, you can face somebody who is Platinum or Diamond and get utterly wrecked. And then it's logical that you won't continue to play this class or won't have as much fun there.
There's
So
also
gaming is going the casual base, well, the casual way, basically, like make the game casual or like more casual friendly and like forget about all the guys who actually invested time into it.
Yeah, that's what they want to do.
Good
Apparently.
But the new prototype is not going to make these bad players better.
That's the thing.
Yeah, but they're going to take away the only or the most fun aspect of CV gameplay, like something different from the actual game.
What
but
they're going
still
to
in the
do is they are
just-
going to try to level the playing field, but it won't work because the shit players will remain shit. And the most of the good players who actually enjoy the current gameplay style, they will just leave the game.
Yeah. So it's gonna be shit player versus shit players, and even more service ship crime because like CVs are not doing what they did before, and it's just like, yay. This is going to backfire so fucking hard, man. I can already feel it. It's gonna be good. So much drama incoming. Yes.
yeah, they didn't even say that it was gonna come this year, though. They said, "Oh, when is it gonna come out?"
So this year,
This year,
once
fingers
again, not-
crossed, is the
Not the year of
direct
the
quote.
CV.
So
Or is it actually the last year of CV?
I think
the
that's more
question.
likely.
yeah. I mean, I can kind of see why you would take away the RTS game aspect, because it would make all the classes more uniform, right? It would make it for a uniform game, not with a weird sub game in the game. And it would like, if I know how to shoot in a DD, I can kind of see how I can shoot in a cruiser, and I can kind of use how I shoot in a cruiser in a battleship, right? So there are similarities between the classes. There is no similarity between any of these classes and a CV. So that's what I think is going to happen. They're going to make those more similar, so that people who have invested a lot of time in all the other classes can at least take some of the skills that they have learned to this new class to make it more user-friendly to people that are not here for an RTS element. Because let's face it, the RTS element is pretty shit. This is not StarCraft. If two Platinum players play, it shouldn't be up to ping or the server side or whatever to decide who wins. Which is not the case in StarCraft, which is why that is an actual good game. It's not like the game does not artificially hold you back in StarCraft, while it does definitely do in Warships. And that I think is a big problem.
Very low percentage of the game, actually. Like if I play against like somebody who's equal skilled, I
That's
wouldn't
good.
blame it on the server or on like the UI if I lose or win that fight.
Yeah, because that's just like how that's basically the way how not to improve your gameplay at all. Blaming it on other stuff besides your own faults. Like if you get beaten and you were actually equal skill, you fucked up somewhere at some point, and it wasn't the server or like some lag or I don't know.
Like
It
I
was like
won't deny that the UI at the moment is like unresponsive as fuck still.
Yeah.
And like planes do weird things sometimes that you don't intend for them to do. If they do like fly derpy circles or like fly an extra round before they drop or like whatever, or sometimes they teleport for no apparent reason.
But around the circus, you can actually play around if you
Yes,
know what causes it. But
exactly, like you can play around it or like you learn to live with it. But it
Yeah.
has never cost me a battle where I would say, hey, this was an equally skilled opponent to me and I just lost here because I had like this 2 seconds of lag or whatever. So I don't really see that as a problem.
Yeah.
Still, I would feel like it would be a better RTS if it didn't have those problems.
Obviously. That's no point denying it, but it still doesn't make it a complete shit game right now. Like CV gameplay, it doesn't complete shit like everyone blames it to be. Like,
Yeah, I see.
I
what
quite
you mean.
enjoy it. I quite like it, even with the less responsive UI and there's some few bugs that are in there. It's just like it's still a lot of fucking fun to play. So I don't know. I honestly don't look forward to the CV rework of it because I always see, like, I played World of Tanks for quite a large amount of time before like actually Warships came out, and at some point I hit an like artillery rework, and it's like before artillery one shot you were like, it's shit, but okay, next battle. Now artillery completely tilts you because like you get detracked all the time, you get stunned, your reload is slowed down, all that stuff. It's just like it's not this one short moment of frustration, it's this constant suffering.
Now it's torture, death by 1,000 cuts, basically, yes.
Yeah, and I kind of see that going to happen to like CV like CVs as well. It's just like, yeah, you get deleted by CV, it's shit, but you go to the next battle and it's like some bullshit will happen or something that's like makes it for the CV player shit, and even for the like service ships as well. It's just like wargaming can't into proper reworks, or like reworks are so difficult to pull off in every game. It's just like doing them is it's really dangerous, and I don't know if this is the right step to take in like completely reworking CVs. To be honest, it's just I don't think that's the right step.
Yeah. I was kind of listening for more stuff on the CVs, but I just couldn't be arsed to keep my attention up for 2.5 hours. I'm sorry. Maybe eventually someone will make like a transcript, and I will read that. But I won't read for that.
Let me find it. Wait a second.
Is there actually a transcript somewhere?
Yeah, there's a transcript. Actually, let me show it. It's on the forums. I give you the link real quick.
Oh my god.
There was
amazing research on my part, I see.
Yeah, put it there. Nice. There was a lot of stuff like written down there.
Oh god. Okay. You can yeah, wait. I'll just bring this to an end now and ask the next question, which will be premium CVs. Should people with no experience be allowed to fuck over the game for everybody on their team?
No.
What?
No.
Even if they don't buy premium series.
But then again, there's like free XP and stuff and doubloon converting, so like they even can do it with silver ships. It's like
well, still meet the midway.
New players should be give them some time in co-op. But it's like then again, I had it as well. Okay, I played Hoshu and Langley, completely sucked at them, dropped CV at all. Like I didn't enjoy it back then because like I had no idea about it. But I still started as like my stats are still complete shit in them. Like I'm gonna leave it for that. It's just like I leave it there. I would trash and then my brother gifted me Saipan. And my first thought was never, let's go into a fucking random battle. Like,
Because
I
you have a
didn't
brain.
even- yeah, I was like, okay, training spell. Like, back then you had to like actually activate it through fire changes and stuff, but and it's just like, okay, this is like this. This button does this stuff. Okay, well, I don't feel confident at all. Let's go into co-ops, and I played like, I don't know, 10 co-op battles before I like actually could manual drop properly to like actually get the feeling of how the torps behave and all that stuff. And it's just like, if people don't do it on free will, force them. Like, just let them play the 10 co-op battles. This is like not a huge investment in time, to be honest. Like, co-op battles are what, 5 to
Thing
10
is,
minutes?
I don't know when you started to play that. When I like played CV like more than I do now even, and the Saipan was released. That was like the first premium CV.
I got Saipan after they changed the strafe in, and like basically you lock a fighter and strafe with
Okay, so
strafe out. There, I
rather
got
recently
then.
then. The problem was when
That's when I started playing
when they
CV.
released Saipan, there were these considerations from Wargaming. They were considering, they were actually asking the players, should we do this? Should we limit CVs for like people who have played a certain amount of CV games before, or should we like stick them into co-op first and then like get them out later or something? And the majority of the players were for that actually, to like implement some kind of like limitation. The problem is they did not do that, and I can tell you, when I picked up the Saipan on the day it was released, I already had like I think a Taiho at the time, so I was kind of confident in my CV play. Holy fuck, did I dominate like CVs for like a week or so. The enemy Saipans had no clue what they were doing, most of them, because they were just surface ship players who jumped directly into random battle because they had not the good like mental capacity that you had to like try it out first and then fuck up your team. And you can see it now again when the Zeppelin was released.
Oh,
or like
God.
not released, but the pre-release basically. Same thing.
Well, it was released, right? Before they
I
took
mean,
it.
it was, yeah, but only for the people who bought it initially. You can't buy it at the moment.
Yeah, but
it was
back then it
that
was a
happened
fucking shit
during the
show.
last ranked season, right?
Yeah.
I did play Enterprise for that ranked season, like up until rank 10. I have a 100% win rate in this ranked season for Enterprise. That is not because I'm an amazing player or anything. That was because so many people got their Zeppelin after not looking at it for like half a year or so, took it into ranked battle and said, I have no clue what I'm doing. Let's test it out in the game. And yeah, in ranked. It was fun for me at least, and my team. For the enemy team, not so much.
Yeah, this is people please.
So,
Stop playing
like
for
premium
fun and
CVs, you can let them be a thing, but only let them be bought by people who either have a certain amount of CV games or put them through like, I don't know, 10, 15 CV games against bots or like scenarios or whatever. Because otherwise it's just like going to ruin the game
But now the
experience for
question
like
comes up for
11
me.
people.
Like, if they actually ask the question to the players, do you want to like have them have a tryout basically before they actually can play random battles? Why the fuck didn't they do it?
Because
they
it's
probably
wargaming and they don't listen to the all know that.
Like they would probably even like sold the same amount of carriers, which is just like, I don't get it. Like, Wargaming, please.
Like, I'm still waiting for the day when they will release like a PCV, and that will come eventually, since we're now up onto like we had now 2 battleships.
I think they even announced it. There's going to be a free XP CV.
This will even be more of a shit show because it doesn't actually like it doesn't cost extra money, and it will be tier 9 or tier 10, whatever. So if they release that, you have even more squadrons than like the current ones have. I think Enterprise has the most of like 6 at the moment from the ones that you can buy with money. I just don't want to see these people on my team, nor on the enemy team, because it will be like too easy to win.
Let's give buff Shokaku and like make it Suikaku basically. This is going to be good.
if I would give that would be like the equivalent of giving my sister, who's never played this game nor even watched me play it, set her in front of my PC, giving her a Hakuryu, and like telling her, okay, here, have fun.
Yeah, good luck.
It would be amazing to watch. I mean, I would have fun with that, but the rest of the players in the game, certainly not.
Well, that's
after
what
a certain
happened in
amount, I'm
Space
sure
Battle.
you would lose your mind because she's doing absolutely ridiculous, stupid shit. Like even if you're just watching, this is like...
maybe I should drink before then. But
yeah, drinking is the solution.
All right.
But yeah, no, it's like an amazingly bad idea that they had there, and I still think the way it's currently handled, it's bad.
All right. I had enough time to look through the answers, or through the questions and answers that were CV related, and I got them here all now. But before we do that, I just want to talk about the carrier divisions and the abuse of it, real quick.
Oh god.
Called division anchoring. If you don't know how it works, carriers can only ever face same tier carriers, or one higher if you are so inclined. But that basically means that if you have a CV, let's say Shokaku tier 8, and you get 2 tier 9 ships, let's say 2 Missouris, and you div up with that Shokaku and those 2 Missouris, you get together in a match. That means you will never ever. I mean, it doesn't work for tier 9 anyway. Bad. Let's say a tier 7 CV and 2 tier 8 ships. So you will never get into a tier 10 game, because the tier 7 CV basically blocks that. The tier 7 CV will always have a problem, but if that tier 7 CV happens to be a Saipan, it's not so bad. So, yeah. Do you think they should disable the ability to queue up with different tiers for CVs? Or maybe even just disable different tier divisions for all classes?
They should just disable that. Like, it's unfun. It doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever. And if I want to play with friends, I can just, like, how long does it take the average player to unlock, I don't know, tier 6 ships or so? 3 days? 4 days? So it isn't really that big of a problem if I started like 2 days before my friend to play, and I definitely want to play with my friend. Either I start a second line with him, wait for him to catch up, and then I can still division with him. But I don't see a reason why that is even in the game in the first place, why I can division with like a different tier.
I mean, people basically are using it to stat win rates because they like either they lack the skill to do it in a proper way, like solo. That's actually the only way win rate counts playing solo. Like everything else is just like padded stats. Like that's just a fact. And people are basically using the fact that you can like never face tier 10 ships if you're divvying with tier 7 carrier, basically, to pad their win rate. And it's not fun, and it's a broken game mechanic that should be fixed immediately at all. Like either disable it completely or make them get into tier 10. Like just easy as that. Say, yeah, if you queue up with tier 7 CV, we don't fucking care. The highest tier counts, and this can face tier 10s. And then good luck with your Saipan against Des Moines AA. Have fun, enjoy. I honestly would really recommend Wargaming to do this. Like, don't take the lowest ship to count for the matchmaker. Take the highest one.
I think
like
instating this,
no one will ever do it again.
I think instating this for all classes would also fix the common issue of fail divisioning, of tier 4 ships getting into tier 6 games, tier 7 games, and that would also be, I think that would improve. Like the people who do it most of the time don't do it by, like the most of fail divisions are not on accident. So I think we could help these poor souls as well to not fail division anymore and not face tier 7s that absolutely obliterate them. So yeah. it is as you said. If someone wants to div up with a friend or something, well, tough luck. Get a tier lower or higher ship. Yeah. I'm not gonna go into the Japanese versus American carriers because they will rework that whole thing again with the carrier rework.
Okay.
So also we are pretty far into the time. I just wanna very quickly ask you about how much would you like to see a Royal Air Force carrier line, like a British one?
Very much so, if they do
Yes,
it in the current style. So
Yes.
fuck that rework. Give me those carriers.
Yeah, because then there's like
I concur.
it's going to be even more fun because like actually there's like not only like IGN versus USN, like you get like more combinations of carrier battles and
Yeah.
matchups, and it's just gonna be a lot more enjoyable kind of gameplay.
Yeah, I
for
just wanna
both sides. Like
say some things that I have looked into British carriers during the war a bit, and you don't need to comment on that. I just wanna throw that out. The thing is with British carriers, they generally have pretty low hunger spaces, pretty few planes that fit in there because they don't have deck parks like the American and Japanese had. They never used those. They basically all stored all their planes exclusively under deck in armored hangars. So yeah, that really doesn't impact the game.
well,
like it's not modeled in the game properly yet. So yeah,
there's an easy way to fix that up to the planes.
that is another thing. But then again, we have a Saipan problem, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but there's that problem with Saipan is that it has like still a really good amount of hangars, space, and planes, while having up-tier planes compared to weaker, I don't know, Ranger or
Also,
Fury
the
planes.
ridiculous strafe mechanic.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
It's
think that's
basically
the
breaking
biggest
the
problem.
game.
but
that
yeah.
is what's breaking the game. Not that the planes are up-tiered.
Yes.
It's the fact that it got this whole shit show of gimmicky stuff. Basically, that is what makes Saekar a broken ship.
I've also looked at planes, and there are a lot of planes, like a lot, and a lot of really good ones as well, which had pretty good track records. They weren't produced in nearly the same numbers that the Americans were, of course, but I mean, their Japanese were, like the higher tier Japanese planes were all just designs, prototypes, whatever. So I don't think that is any problem. The British at least flew and like killed stuff themselves, so yeah. There's not that many carriers either, but that's never stopped us before, right?
Mm-hmm.
We could get I think we could get tier 4 to, I'm thinking 7 or 8, depending on how you do it. I forgot the name of the carrier, but that's basically where I'm seeing what was actually built. And then again, I mean, designs. So
yeah,
I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. But they have repeatedly said they're not gonna get any more carriers until they rework, which I think is fine. Then let's go to the questions that we had. First question that was asked concerning carriers was, will CVs get rebuffed again? Answer, we are currently working on a new version of carriers. We all knew this. So of course they will be rebalanced. Therefore everything in regards to carriers and planes will be revisited. That includes AA, captain skills, as well as the CVs themselves. The important thing here, I think, is captain skills and that it includes AA.
I mean, to be honest, that's the only viable way, like the only way to make this rework viable. If you only change the carriers and leave the rest as it is, the rework's going to be shit. Like, it's not a proper rework. Like, you have to rebalance the game around this rework then.
Yeah,
the two are connected, basically.
Yeah.
So,
like, you can't just rework one stuff and like leave the weapon against it like untouched.
Yep.
It's just going to be broken in some way. Either it's underpowered or overpowered. It's just like
yeah. The next,
At least they're doing it properly, but I guess no good CV player will, or looking at it is, or how they are teasing the rework will like it. So
the next question kind of ties into that, which is, do you think the future CV rework will have an impact on every Tier 4 plus ship? And obviously that is gonna be. Yes, absolutely, the AA will be reworked, so we'll see what else we need to change. Hopefully not too many drastic changes. I'm not so sure there's not gonna be, I'm sure there's not gonna be that many drastic changes to surface ships. There's absolutely gonna be drastic changes to carriers, of course. I mean, who could have seen that coming? Then, will there be compensation for the CV rework after the CV rework is implemented? Sorry. Absolutely, we try to compensate players accordingly, and they explicitly say they are gonna reward them very generously.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
what
they
are they gonna take
explicitly,
my money back
Yeah,
from
are they
my
just
previous CVs that I bought, or
or are
I
they
don't know.
actually rewarding the time I invested in it? And like the brain says, I maybe lost to
I don't know, but
teammates
they
calling me out for bullshit.
they explicitly said or noted that there are a lot of players who like the current way premiums work,
Yes,
or CVs work. Sorry. Yeah.
they're going to bring out a premium CV for those who like it. Who's going to be the old way?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yes.
So
Take
yeah,
my money.
there is that. I mean, they acknowledge that at least, so that's pretty good, I guess. Then CV rework opens the ability to field BBV and CVEs. Those are, for example, Ise and Torne.
Yeah.
The battleships that were half battleship and half aircraft carrier. Which is
I'm hyped for this.
weird.
Like,
why are so many people hyped for this? What the fuck?
because the ability to like actually use guns and like, okay, this is where I can see like a third person kind of view on planes. Like you get a single squad of like, I don't know, fighters or like bombers, and can also use it while firing your guns and stuff. So it's like, I like the idea of it, but yeah, you have to rework the CVs for this as well, because like if you face a CV then and he is like the old way, this is going to be a little bit of like going to be a little bit iffy. So like
Gonna be very weird, is what they're
balance
trying
it.
to say.
Yeah, and so I guess that's why they rework CVs also, to like implement new classes like this or like new ships like this,
So
or to make it easier to implement them.
Yeah. Are carrier sales on hold until the carrier rework? Yes, they say.
Sadly, I want an Enterprise. I want a cargo.
Aww.
I missed all those premium CVs, man.
Yeah, and Jesper wants a grab
you can have
Zeppelin.
mine after the rework if that's fine for you. If that's fine with you.
give me Enterprise.
Jesper wants a grab Zeppelin. He told me earlier today. So
I mean, everyone wants a car Zeppelin at the current state. It's so fucking brain dead and stat padding at its best.
Play it, yes.
Yes, it's like
I take
brain
one.
dead stat padding.
I take one.
Like
I
even
mean-
if you don't know how to properly play CV, you take the 203.
Yeah.
203, yeah, and just like left click on any BB or cruiser and fucking delete
And
it.
then you get CV on income stats and win rate.
This
Yeah.
is like Graf Zeppelin is so brain dead.
I've seen way too many grab Zeppelin players with extremely good win rates, extremely good PR, and like extremely shit carrier players, but extremely good grab Zeppelin players. It's like,
Yeah,
what the fuck, man? That's exactly the kind of people who bought grab Zeppelin initially, right? Who didn't know anything about the game, and then those were the guys who balanced it. So yeah, well done, Wargaming. I'm really, really
Thing is,
proud.
even if you lose all of your strike, you still one tap a guy, and you have enough hangar for maybe one or two more times. That means 3 ships less on the enemy team, even if you lose all of your planes.
Because 18 dive bombers not being affected by the FAA is totally balanced.
Yeah, I mean, you can just go make yourself a coffee while these guys
Yeah.
are flying there, drop their load, and return. You don't need to do anything during that
Yeah.
time. Sounds like
Tap
very fun
out.
gameplay to me.
Tap out, write on your thesis, go back into the game, left click the next target, go out again.
Makes it easier to multitask.
Yeah, it's
But
actually
not in the game, like multitask outside of the
outside
game.
of
That's
the
the good thing.
game.
Yeah. I mean, I see someone on the other side of the map. I click a plant squad. I left click on the guy. I go out of the toilet. Easy. Easy 50. When I come back, easy 50k more damage. No problem. The planes even come back themselves. Like, I don't even need to click anything, right? No problem. Yeah. Next up, and the last question which had carrier in it. Are there gonna be special captains on carriers with plane traits? I mean, a couple of people were very disappointed that Kelsey, who is pretty famous for being the commanding officer of a number of carrier strike forces, was not having any special traits in regards to CV traits, right? And they answered yes, there's absolutely gonna be a special captain eventually that will have special traits for carriers. So I am not looking forward to that because I'm not playing CVs. I guess I would play Graf Zeppelin, but that's a different story.
I'm hoping for that plus 20% plane speed after getting King of the Sky.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Very useful.
So yeah.
I mean, if you get like I think I had a game it was yesterday. I had like a 10 or 11 minute King of the Sky. It's just like I could have used the plane speed and like also buffed the rearmament times. That would be fun then, because like damage output is just increased massively then.
Yeah, so I guess that's a good question to end this. What would you hope for would be the... I mean, there's, for the special captains, there's also always like some kind of achievement, like for example, Confederate would probably be pretty easy to get in a carrier, but also very useful. And then also, I don't know, yeah, King of the Sky, I guess.
Yeah,
That's
the problem
also.
there is like we're only getting those after the rework, and since we don't know how the rework looks, I can see, like I read the Q&A just now as well, like the raw input files there, that Farah is very excited about those.
Yes.
The problem is, like, we will probably not see the same gameplay and the same skills that are useful to us at the moment if they totally change that.
Yeah, but there will be others that will be useful. Like, it's not that they're completely removing everything useful. Like, there's gonna be different captain skills that are gonna be useful. Not the ones that we use right now, but different ones. That being said, how about we make a bit of a thought experiment, right? So if the carrier rework actually just made the UI more responsive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe rebalanced Japanese and Americans, but I mean, what do I know?
I mean, tier 10 is balanced, in my opinion.
I don't want to go into that now, okay? Thank you. But what would you think? What would you like, love, whatever, them to have? First of all, just of better normal skills, Jesper. Which skills should he buff?
Better normal skills of the current ones.
Yes.
I will go ahead and say evasive maneuvers, man.
I mean, something to make that better would probably be good. Yeah.
It's gonna be maximum troll. Especially in tier 4 and 5. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Actually, planes actually fly backwards then.
Actually, don't make them lose speed, like aircraft speed.
That would be kind of good, yeah. I can see that being pretty good.
But then again, I don't see much use of it.
The only good use is in tier 4 and 5.
Your planes get faster already.
Fight.
Your planes get faster already, and who's SCV player is retarded enough to fly on his way back through Des Moines or some shit? To be honest, like that's just like it's dumb. Like who does this, or like who flies on his way back to the ship through AA ships, or like any AA is like meh. It's a meh decision, to be honest, to make. So I don't see much use of it.
It
Basically,
is a meme kill, and therefore it has.
So you're going for the meme node.
like
Yes.
evasive
This is
maneuver
Jesper
as
you're
well as
talking
expert
about.
rear
Yes.
gunner, like that as well as expert rear gunner, those skills like they need to go. They're utterly useless.
I
And
agree on that.
if you want to like improve something, like make some captain that improves that does improve like actually one skill of those, or like has like special skill, then I don't know, like do something with the airspeed, like maybe a faster return, not like a slower return or something. After getting, I don't know, like Confederate or high caliber or something like that. That is like possible and like can make then you can still make a difference in the battle. Like
Yeah.
not after like King of the Sky or whatever that's called. If you get that, the battle is most likely over. But you can get a Confederate or like a high caliber even fairly early on, like with like
Yeah.
10 minutes left in the battle. Should be possible.
Form a Kurfürst in Yamato and you're done.
Like yeah, and
But I
then
mean-
it's still useful.
Then again, Yamamoto's second skill is only active after a Kraken, and once you got a Kraken, the game is basically over.
I mean that
So-
skill twice saved my life so far.
Oh, it
The
has.
second win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, the game is basically over at that point, most of the time. And with King of the Sky, I can kind of see that as well. If it would maybe replenish planes in a small manner, then it would like game. You know how in operations ships get repaired in like repair zones, right?
Mhm.
How about we kind of
So-
extend that to carriers getting planes back? And I
Yeah,
In
think
fact, the first time I played one of these, I thought it would give me planes back. I was mightily surprised when it didn't, but the ships around me are all repaired.
Mhm.
yeah, I think that would be kind of fine to get like after King of the Sky, you get planes back, because that seems like that is a huge thing to get King of the Sky.
Yeah.
Like
And
a third of your
then
planes
I
are
think-
restored or something.
Yeah,
Should be
then I
fine.
think it would also be fine to get a huge boost from that, right? I mean,
So-
Yamamoto's Kraken gives you half your HP back, which is pretty significant, to be honest, for ships that can't heal, especially like cruisers, what? Desurs, for example, right? That is that's pretty huge, I think.
Well, I'd like to see something stacking up with Death Strikes. To be honest, like,
Yeah,
like,
that would
give
be
it like
kinda cool.
give it a small number always. But like if you get like basically 2 Death Strikes, you have like a good buff. But like one is like it's a nice thing to have, but it's nothing that makes you really fucking OP against the other CV. And Death Strikes are rather easy to achieve, right?
Hmm.
But it's still like it feels a lot of rewarding than to actually get the stuff. That's just like I think that's a good approach to like not give it this massive boost, but like if they want, like they're going to make the game more casual anyway, right? Or that's like the way Wargaming is heading right now. So why not give those casual players like those small bits where they like actually can feel like they achieved something? That's how you make a casual game good. Like giving something for a little bit of effort, like giving a little for little effort. And
Hmm.
I can see that working, but I don't know what exactly it should buff then. Because
Yeah, but I see what you
I
mean.
had no time to think about this right now.
The next, what I just had an idea. Fuck. I'm retarded. Um. It'll come to me in like 10 minutes again, and then this podcast will be over. It's fine. But yeah, a special captain would definitely be cool, and would also it's also time, to be completely honest, that the carrier players get some love there as well. I can see that they don't want to do that before the carrier rework, but then they should
Yeah.
fucking get on with it already. Maybe don't release 4 or 5 new lines every year, and instead focus on a carrier rework for once. I think that would be kind of fine. Because I don't need new lines that often.
I especially don't need any more full AA lines like HNDDs, USNCLs. It's just
Even the
Oh,
French
gaming,
battleships,
please.
right?
Yeah.
Even the French battleships were pretty hard on the CV, on the AA side.
yeah, true.
Like Lyon has pretty fucking great AA. Richelieu is pretty good with all the
Anyone is
Beauforts.
like
Also is
invest
pretty
a little
good.
on them, and you get a good AA.
Richelieu is really good.
Just wait for the Russian battleships.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Ah.
Moskva is coming, boys. Moskva battleship is coming. We're
I'm so
getting
hyped
there,
for this.
man.
Like I got my Moskva lately, and I'm so fucking hyped for the armor buff because it's already so fun to play. It's just like buff my lower armor,
Really?
bow armor, and
I don't like it at all, honestly.
like I played I don't know 3 or 4 games so far. And
Yeah, I like the first 4 games. After that, it took a deep dive.
But that's like with every line I played or like every ship so far I played.
Yeah. First 10 games in
I hate-
Missouri, absolutely amazing. All the 70 games after that, absolute crap. About 30k average damage, amazing.
But did you know Wargaming Ghost nerfed Missouri?
Ah, yes, yes. That's why I'm so shit at it now. Oh, I finally found someone to blame. Very good, very good.
Good shit.
Yeah.
I
Like
mean,
honestly, if I could,
The fuck? Sorry.
what the hell? If I could, I'd trade my Missouri for Belfast right the fuck now. If anyone had a Belfast and would absolutely want a Missouri, I'd trade my Belfast instantly.
Me too. So I can use my 2 million free XP to buy another one.
you might want to give me some, right? Because I'm sitting at 3.5k.
Wow. Wow.
Well, I guess free XP is there to use it, and I use it to like skip ships I don't like playing for us, but like Donska was one, Elsa's was like not entirely, but like I basically test every ship, like I play it for a few games, but if I decide I can't be asked to like lose more brain cells on playing this ship and just like skip it. And this was the case for the reworked Essex, Donskoy, Elsa's.
This is
Us?
why you can't have nice things. I
It's
grind
just
all
like
stock, even CVs. I
Yeah.
tried to grind stock courier in rank. It didn't go well.
oh
There's
no.
nothing
Yeah,
fun there.
I never played any stock CV after like I actually invested. Like I was telling, okay, let's get good at CVs. Like always use free XP to unstuck them because like you have such a massive disadvantage. That's also a thing. Why the fuck Wargaming? Like putting stock players in such a huge disadvantage. It's just like I'm fine with like reduced hangar space, kinda, but like lower tier planes and stuff is just that combined with the less hangar, it's just like no Wargaming, like especially on the USN ones. Like the IGN ones are fine because like we get the same hangar on even the upgraded hulls, and only USN ones have to suffer through that stuff. But still, I don't know. Like a stock Shokaku is, this is like tier 6 top bombers, please.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You need to know Jesper is a anti-skipping or anti-free XP using extremist.
Yeah, well, that's why he's sitting on
So-
2 million.
Yeah, of course, but yeah.
But like, if I don't enjoy playing a ship, but I wanna play the next one, it's just like, why not use the stuff given to me, right? So,
But you shouldn't have skipped Alsace. It's a great ship. Honestly.
no,
What?
no, it's not.
It is.
It's
Honestly-
not. It just has a lot of shells, and that's everything about it.
Yeah, but that's pretty good.
No, they are shit. They have even like the as a tier 9 would be the ability to not overmatch a bow in tier 10 cruiser. It's fucking ridiculous. Like a fucking Hindenburg or a Sau rape you. They rape you completely. if they have the slightest idea of how to angle, and you can't do jack shit against it, it's fucking tilting. Like,
Sao has the
I'm
angle.
getting, yeah, I'm
but he
getting,
never can
getting,
just go power.
I'm just like, Elsa's was so tilting, and even then, like,
I
also,
hear.
like,
I hear.
I had 200k damage games, right?
Sorry.
They didn't feel like it. Like, I had 200k damage games in Elsa's. They don't feel like 200k damage, because like you most of the times you just get like 3 overpens there. Maybe you get a citadel there, but it's just like you don't have constant damage. It's just like, this is
That's actually
it's
how I
weird.
feel with the Republic. I just shoot so much, like I shoot every 18 whatever seconds, and I just get overpens, and then I get some more overpens, and then I get some more overpens, and then I get some bounces. And in the end, I'm on 120k damage.
Makes up for it, right? Like you have this, the feeling of consistency is higher.
No.
Because
The
you
feeling of
don't shoot
consistency is
every
not there.
fucking 30 seconds. And then 12 shells who might hit 2, which are 2 overpens. And it's just like, Republic is like a heavy, really heavy cruiser, I guess, for the players they have. It's just, it's
but that's fun.
fine.
It's fun.
Yeah, Republic is a lot of fucking fun, and it's fine, and it's a really good ship. I like it a lot, but SS was fucking trash, man. That was a fucking trash ship.
I must disagree with you. But we are getting away from the topic, which is CVs.
True.
And I think that is also showing that we are kind of out of topics. Does anyone have anything they wanna desperately talk about? All right, then we will end it here. We have talked for way long enough. And thanks everyone for listening. And see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.